Welcome back, Devils fans, and the rumor mill is officially heating up. The Gibson rumors do not seem to be going away anytime soon, and let's talk about it. So I've been talking about the goalies for weeks on end now. We had talked about Gibson, a couple other guys, but now the Gibson rumors are officially heating up. Last week on the national broadcast, our old friend PK Subban openly said on the broadcast the New Jersey Devils should get serious and go after John Gibson. Take a look.
Tell the people who you want to see in goal for the Devils.
Well, the Anaheim Ducks are in 30th place. They're not going anywhere.
Probably not.
And probably not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Listen, I'd love to see John Gibson.
I'm listening.
I'd love to see New Jersey get aggressive. I got nothing against Akira Schmid and Vanacek. They played great for them last year.
They got a little something again.
I want to see some veteran leadership on the back end, not just on the back end, but on the back side, on the defensive end for this team. And I think a veteran goaltender, someone like John Gibson, would slide in and be great there. So.
Question is, Gibson want to go too?
Well, I don't know. Would you want to leave Anaheim? Would you want to leave there in the beach or Newport?
And so let's just start at the beginning. So last night, I'm not sure what time, but I was at the game and I was stuffing my face with a variety of foods from different continents, flavors of the world, just chowing down. And a buddy of mine had sent this tweet to me from James Nichols, which says, per source, NJHN has learned that njdevils GM Tom Fitzgerald has re-engaged in John Gibson. The Ducks are in town this week to play the Isles, Rangers, and Devils. So I get that text from a friend while I am gorging myself on burgers, fries, carving station, mashed potatoes, pretzels, French fries, unlimited amounts of the scoop liquid cheese that I'm just putting cheese on everything. It's a phenomenal setup. Anyway, mid-feast, I read this text, see the tweet, and I'm like, this is interesting. And so I had started to walk towards where I go to see the guys come out. And I was in a very tight area, and I was walking right past Fitzy. And I said, hey, Fitzy. And he looked right at me, stopped. And I said, those Gibson rumors are really heating up on the internet. What's going on? And he goes, huh? What? And like smirked and giggled and like scurried away. So from that brief interaction I had with him, it certainly seems as there's some truth to it. I don't think people are completely pulling this out of thin air and making it up and fabricating stories. There's definitely some truth to Fitzgerald is in contacts with Anaheim regarding Gibson, and that was a pretty funny little moment I had with Fitzy there last night before the start of the game. And then today we see everyone's favorite rumor monger, Eklund. And here we see NJ Anaheim entered the serious talk for Gibson, E4, for those keeping track at home. This is an E4. The Devils are entering into serious talks with the Ducks involving John Gibson, who would really solidify the net. Some feel the Devils are about to explode in the standings, and the only thing holding back the Devils from a playoff spot is stability in the nets. The costs will be quite high, and the Devils might have to give up 2 serious prospects and a first. My first reaction to reading that was, wow, that's honestly a lot more than I thought it was going to take to get Gibson. Coming off the game last night, it was a very solid outing for Vitek Vanacek. You guys know how I feel about him. I don't think he is the answer, but he does have these performances where you kind of talk yourself into believing that he could be. But again, the numbers don't lie, guys. We have a large sample space, juicy rebounds, 5 and 6 spots getting put up against him. I'm just not confident with him, and I never will be. And so, and on the flip side, I think Schmid could be the guy. Again, my biggest complaint with him is he's not getting consistent starts to string together a rhythm. It's this every other day. He might get 2 out of 3. And so I don't know that I'm very comfortable thrusting him into a playoff scenario either. Even after his brilliant performance against the Rangers last season, I mean, he came in there out of nowhere and he got us to the second round. So I'll forever be fortunate for that. And I do believe he still could be the guy. I haven't seen enough and I don't know. And now when I see Vanacek with one of those great performances, I think the coaching staff gets very caught up in the moment. And so because Vitek's most recent start was a good one and he got the win against Boston, only giving up 1 goal, I think we might see him now get like a streak of games where he plays, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6 or something like that. And at this point, I just don't really know. I think the coaching staff is bewildering the goaltenders and themselves with the whole situation. And I think getting a legit guy could be pivotal for us to go far in the playoffs. Now, as far as Gibson's concerned, for 2 serious prospects and a first, I don't know that I'm willing to pay that price. And I guess I need to know what they mean by serious prospects. My number one prospect that I would not want to see traded is Seamus Casey. I did a long video about him at development camp this summer. I think he's going to be an absolute stud. Played with Luke at Michigan. I think this kid's going to be for real. Between him, Nemitz, Luke, Ball, I really think the future of the blue line is super bright in New Jersey. And I would hate to see us part with Seamus Casey to get John Gibson. But maybe Fitz feels it's something worth doing and it'll bring us over the top. This one's a very tough one for me to call. I usually am very opinionated, either a hard yes or a hard no. This one I'm kind of on the fence on, but 2 prospects and a first seems like a very steep price for Gibson to me. I did not expect the ask to be that high. Let's just take a look at Gibson's stats real quick. So for his career, his goals against is .283 and a save percentage of .912. Very solid numbers. And again, way better than the stats of our goaltending on this year. With those numbers, if we had a goals against of 2.83 and a save percentage of .912, we would probably have 3 to 4 more wins on the year. And then we just take a deeper dive down here. So 13-14, he played 3 games, and then he played 23 games the following year, and then his workload kind of, you see it bumps up as he becomes a legit starter. And his goals against averages and save percentages are pretty solid throughout, and he's played on some pretty poor Ducks teams during those times. So it looks like in 1920, his goals against was a 3, 21-22, a 3.19, and this year it's pretty bad. I mean, yeah, the Ducks are just bad. So it's really hard to judge. Was it 22-23 was a 3.99 last year? Yeah, and this year he's at a 2.89. I mean, you know, I don't see enough of him, being that he's out west. I don't see a ton of the West Coast teams. It's a really hard one for me to call, but 2 prospects in a first does seem like a very high price tag. And I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think if let's just assume that the ask is correct, as they stated, that it's 2 serious prospects in a first, and let's just say it's, you know, Seamus Casey and I don't even know another. Let's just say Seamus Casey, Chase Stillman, and a first-round draft pick in a hypothetical scenario. Are you guys doing that trade? I don't know that I could, honestly. It's a really tough one. You know, I have no idea. I think Fitz is in a tough spot. He feels the pressure of the goaltending being an issue that hasn't been addressed for years, and now we might overpay to correct it. I'm very curious, but what do you guys think? Would you pay the price of 2 prospects and a first for Gibson? What do you guys think? If not Gibson, is there anyone else that's do you guys think is even remotely possible to get? It seems like the list is not very plentiful. And so if we're in this position where we're looking for a number 1 guy, it seems like it's Gibson and there might not be much else to choose from. Let me know in the comments. Are you guys paying the price for Gibson? What do you think Fitz should do? Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.